that East Kent Against Fracking and all our Kent Village groups support you 100%. Now in 2013, East Kent fought a successful campaign against drilling, and we did so with the help of a respected hydrogeologist by the name of Graham D. Warren. Graham worked for almost 30 years for the Environment Agency. So, it would be wholly wrong to believe that those who oppose fracking are a bunch of irrational eco-freaks. Nothing could be further from the truth. You know, there are now over 500 residents groups in the UK. Frack-free Sussex alone has over 10,000 followers. And importantly, members of those groups include geologists, lawyers, doctors, councillors of all parties and engineers who absolutely are well versed in this industry and its failings. And we know that fracking cannot be regulated safely. The industry knows it too, but our government continues to pursue a dishonest framing campaign and an irresponsible fracking and see policy, which may very well bring short-term profits to some of the company shareholders, but it will bring long-term damage to us and to the tourist and rural economies. Now, you don't have to believe me on that. Believe what the government isn't telling you, because it is absolutely true that a government DEFRA report on the effects, the rural impacts of fracking, was redacted in no fewer than 62 sections. That is 62 sections that were hidden from public view. And they included costs, higher insurance costs to cover the a possibility of explosion on site, that environmental damage has occurred from leakage of waste fluids, that contaminated surface water can affect human health via the consumption of contaminated wildlife, livestock or agricultural products, and increased industrialisation may be brought to previously tranquil environments, with rural businesses that rely on clean air, land and water suffering losses in agriculture, tourism, organic farming, hunting, fishing, outdoor recreation. I could go on. So much for creating jobs. You know, these are the real facts of fracking, but they were revealed only after Greenpeace and the Information Commissioner forced our government to reveal those 62 hidden sections. Now, the truth is out there. It's there in every single country in which fracking has taken place. In areas, as in Pennsylvania, which are now beyond remediation and have been abandoned as sacrificial zones. So where are the sacrificial zones to be on our densely populated island? In Blackpool? No. We say no. We say no to fracking. Because it doesn't matter which report the government spouts, they all come with a caveat that fracking can be done safely as long as there is a robust regulatory regime in place. And there isn't. We know there isn't. All we have is what amounts to self-regulation by the companies involved. When the only shale fracking ever to have taken place in this country occurred in 2011 and triggered those two earthquakes here in Lancashire, causing defamation to Quadrilla's well casing, the company failed even to recognise the significance of that event. Those are the Energy Minister's words, not mine. So when the industry and the government boast of their gold standard regulations, I'm minded to ask, Precisely where were they in 2011 when they told us fracking was safe then? And why on earth should we trust them now that the Health and Safety Executive and the Environment Agency have suffered so many devastating budget cuts? In Kent, Graham Warren's evidence showed us that the aquifer, which supplies up to 90% of my county's water, was at risk from the irreversible contamination from fracking. So we fought in East Kent a fierce campaign. And when pressed finally by the Environment Agency, Coastal Oil and Gas Limited, how were they going to protect that vital resource, the company withdrew their applications. They went off to collate the information and they never ever came back. Had not campaigned, would that company be drilling now? Of course they would. Never doubt for 1 minute that resistance works and that each of you here today can make a difference, can fight this together. And now consider the omnishambles of Quadrilla's operations today. And the fact that their latest applications to frack in Lancashire were rejected by the democratically elected county councillors, only for Quadrilla to appeal that decision and have the government intervening to decide this. When is democracy not democracy? When the government decide it is interfering with their policy on fracking, then surely it will be overridden. And when is fracking not fracking? When the government chooses to redefine it as it did in the Infrastructure Act, so that what took place here in 2011 wouldn't even now be considered fracking. What an utter insult to the intelligence of the people of this country. To expect that if they don't mention the F word, we won't recognise that we will suffer the same risks from the same process. I'm not anti-government, I'm pro-community, I'm pro-democracy. I'm here today to underscore the truth. They cannot be in prison at all for protecting the most important things we'll ever have. Our homes, our families, our environment. And Andrew Austin, the former CEO of IGAS, admitted the barriers to this industry are in getting local acceptance. He said, we need to work with these communities, and it's the inability to manage that that would rule out any particular area. Well, guess what? Companies don't have local acceptance. They won't get it. Andrew Austin is long gone. So, Kent stands beside you today, and we say to our government, listen today to the many, not the money. And together, let's continue to say no to fracking in Lancashire and elsewhere. Because the day we stop doing that is the day we say yes to fracking, and that day, I assure you, is never